Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Nashville Superspeedway as we take on the second round of the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. Started last week at Daytona with a great 80-lap race. It's time now for something with maybe a little bit more skill attached, a little bit less luck here at Daytona. It was certainly about looking your way towards the front, but also the moves in the Superspeedway pack as well. While this is called a Superspeedway, the racing very, very different on the concrete of Tennessee. Glad to be here again. For the Hawkers Automotive 100, it is myself, Ian O'Leary, Hamish Munro alongside me again. And Jim Cunningham is back with us as well for the second round of the championship. Good to be back with you, Hamish, for this one. It says Superspeedway. A bit misleading, though. This circuit, a mile and a third long, over on the concrete. In terms of a lap round here, there's a little bit more to it than at Daytona, but the racing should be similarly good, albeit, again, much different to what we saw last week.
Yeah, I think, different racing style this week, Ewan, of course. It's shorter super speedway. It's really on the edge of being a regular speedway, only really classified being a super speedway because it's over that mile long. I think tonight, the question is, how chaotic is it going to be? Last week, there was some pretty the nice way we could say it, some pretty poor decisions from some of the drivers, namely under pace car. So hopefully tonight, when we get into those pace car laps, those drivers have cleaned their act up a little bit as well. Practice currently underway, of course. There's some great lap times already. Bailey Brennan has set the pace thus far. But I'm excited for tonight. It's going to be a fun time. Nashville, this is the first time I get to call it a race at this circuit, so it's going to be a fantastic event for us here for the second round of the championship. And I'm interested in how this is all going to play out across the night as well. Jim, you're pretty much our local expert on Nashville. You lived not too far away from Tennessee for quite a few years. What's your thoughts leading into this race?
Well, it's good to be with you two guys. This is actually the first time all three of us have worked together at the same time, which is really cool. Music City, man, Nashville. This track is wide. It tears up tires, which is great for competitive racing. Real race car drivers like it when the tires get worn because then they can chase grip all over the track. And this is a track that realistically can have 4 grooves. You can see 3 wide racing here, assuming that they have some semblance of car control. Not exactly what we just witnessed on screen, but if that was
called it into existence.
That was well timed, I have to say. No, but with some good car control, you can run 3, even 4 wide here once the tires wear out a little bit. There's a really high groove up next to the wall, and you can run anywhere all the way down to the bottom of the track. I think it's going to breed some exciting racing. I think the key word I heard you guys use a lot last week, and I think it holds true again, is patience. These guys are going to have to show a little patience here as we get ready to start qualifying, but they're just going to have to wait. It's an 80-lap race. I mean, there's no reason to send it 3 wide on the first lap with cold tires, So we'll see. But I'm super excited to be here with you guys as qualifying starts. And I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some solo laps as they go on for qualifying next 5 minutes. But one couple of things before we get there. Fuel window expected to be a little bit shorter this week, actually, because of the way that the session has been set up. 22 to 24 laps on a tank, rather, should be the limit. That means it's going to be quite a lot of pit stops today. Should be at least 3, and that means that tyres might well not be taken at every opportunity. We will wait and see how many occasions they decide to take them, 2 or 4 and so on. But that's one thing to look at. The stage comes after 30 laps, 45 laps for the run to the home to home after a 75-lap race, which makes up 100 miles, which is why this race is called the Hawkers Automotive 100 here from Nashville Superspeedway. A quick thank you to, by the way, to the other sponsors of this series this season, DRE, Skylark Audio, Visual and Lighting, Hawkers Automotive, who, as I say, are sponsoring this race, the Hawkers Automotive 100, Chop House Restorations, who this season are sponsoring the Chop House Restorations Restart Zone, and Blue Line Technologies, who are sponsoring the last lap of the season. So, we'll get to that a little bit later on today, but the final lap sponsored by Blue Line Technologies this season. Just about into qualifying then. First lap's coming through. Cody Nelson goes to the top briefly, but yeah, it's going to be solo laps effectively, Hamish, where, again, I don't actually think qualifying will be ultra important. 75 laps can be quite a long time, really, when we actually get into this race, and there's going to be plenty of time to work your way back through the field.
I think the only real importance that's going to be on qualifying is if you can qualify up the front, because we saw how chaotic the mid pack was last week, even the rear pack as well. You know, the field separated into a couple of groups as they were running around in the train. So I think if you can qualify up the front, you can reap the benefits of that, but you don't want to then make strategic mistakes where you come into pit lane too early or too late and then end up, deep in the field where you're suddenly under pressure from cars around you, and, sometimes pressure can lead to mistakes happening as well. So for these drivers here tonight, I think maybe if they can qualify in amongst the top 10, they're going to be under a little bit less pressure than if they're in that mid-pack, because we saw how chaotic it can be, and that could be a real major issue tonight at this track. I mean, it's fast-paced, not too much banking around here, which is good, and as Jim said, we can go roughly 3 wide through a couple of corners as well. But it's, how are those tyres going to wear, and how is that going to affect us while we're racing? Only time will tell. And I think we're going to be in for a good race, but I do think that qualifying will hold a little bit of importance for these drivers. More so that if you can get in the top 10, you may be able to survive a bit better than if you were in that mid-pack, as I said.
Yeah, maybe that is true. We just got a glimpse there of the 90. That's William Hawker, who is now making his way on the first lap of his session. There's only about a minute and a half to go, so anybody who hasn't done it yet, like Quinton Morrow or Be Strong maybe, need to get out there pretty quickly. What's the time going to be for the 90, first of all, though? It's 31.6, that says. Mid-30s probably it will be. Yeah, 13th.
The 2005 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards Best Rapper of the Year winner, Be Strong, back in the field once again. So, hopefully he can get a good result tonight, not get slimed out on circuit. But no, I mean, it looks to be everyone's qualifying is finished. Only 6 cars have not set times in the session, including Quinton Morrow, Taylor Strong, Logan Yuka, Jack Anderson, Levi Murdoch, and Be Strong, as I mentioned. So they're going to be starting at the back of the field. We'll see how well they can survive the carnage off the start of this lap. 30 cars on track, though, tonight, Ewan, so we're going to be in for a good one. Not as many as last week at Daytona, but I think that could be to our benefit tonight, because it's, slightly less cars means we could be in for slightly less carnage.
Yeah, maybe less cautions than what we got last time out. Yeah, 37 made the start of last week's race, which was great to have, but didn't alleviate some of the chaos that we did see. Be Strong, by the way, finished in 22nd last week, in case you're interested. Follow the progress over the season, I'm sure. This is early on in the season, don't forget. We are 8 rounds of a regular season, followed by 3 rounds of a playoffs campaign at the end of September to the start of October. So plenty of a way to go here in the season. So there's your schedule. We'll be at Charlotte, Kansas next 2 weeks, actually. Some similar racetracks back-to-back for possibly really the only time this season, to be honest. Auto Club in Vegas, kind of similar, I guess. But Charlotte is our long race this season. So I didn't realise we have warm up to chat along as well, Jim. But as you reminded me, Charlotte is a 3-stage race, actually, 150 laps. It's our longest night, 50 laps for each stage. So yeah, that's our longest race. That comes next week, of course.
It should be a good race, but I do think that the obvious wacky choice that we mentioned to no end last week, Ewan, August 9th, the Red Bull Ring. Before we go and break for a few weeks, That's going to be a very interesting challenge in these cars. I'm excited though. I love the Red Bull Ring. It's my favorite race circuit in the world. So I think it'll be fun to see some Xfinity race. It is. I love it. I mean, honestly, it might be an outside choice for, like, your number one favorite. I know a lot of people hold it in high regard, but I hold it in the highest regard. I think it is a fantastic circuit. It's fun to drive, and it creates some great racing as well. So I do think it'll be interesting in the Xfinity cars. Might be similar to watching a supercars race around there, but even less aero and even less brakes. But it'll be, I think it'll be a fun time nonetheless at the start of August for us to head out to Spielberg. But the warm-up session's underway here, Jim. You were obviously having a good little chuckle in the background whilst me and Ewan were talking through qualifying. How important do you think qualifying is here around Nashville? I mean, we kind of both made our points, but do you think it's going to be that important tonight, or do you think that we can maybe see someone come from the mid-pack and get up front? I particularly think it's whoever can keep it the cleanest if they're in the mid-pack will have the biggest chance of doing so.
Well, excuse me. That's my Disney World cold I'm carrying around with me. Both of you actually had very good points, but I think if anything, I probably would lean to your point, especially. No offense to anyone, but given the racecraft that we've seen the last 2 weeks, or the first 2 weeks this season so far, I would have to say that qualifying up front keeps you the best chance to stay out of trouble. Obviously, it doesn't protect you because we saw the leader get dumped last week early on in the race. So
we also saw the leader get dumped towards the end of the race as well.
Yeah,
and it was a proper dumping. It wasn't they look like they got turned, I'll be honest with you. So
yes. So again, qualifying up front probably keeps you out of the big one, a little better if you can stay in that front group all night long. But I mean, it is a long race, and if you keep your nose clean, you could certainly start in the back and win this race without a doubt. So, I wouldn't say that it's hugely important in winning the race, but it is probably very important in making it easier to stay alive for the whole race. So,
I'm going to make the claim, Ewan, that the 98 car is going to do me proud again this week, and it's going to finish on the podium again. Running my number strong is Cody Pruitt, but he looked very strong last week at Daytona, and I think he could look strong again tonight. He's got some good pace here at Nashville, and I'll be excited to see what he can do, as well as Bailey Brannon, who set the pace early, and Quinton Morrow too, but he'll be starting from the back of the field, so that'll be an interesting run forward for him.
So,
not only finishing on the podium, by the way, but won the race. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm just saying in general, like a podium finish, I think is good enough for me. If he wins tonight, then I'm going to have to claim, well, he needs to win every single week then to keep me happy. But we'll take a podium this week for the 98 car for sure.
I happen to notice, and we'll talk about him more in a few minutes when we're able to show his car. He's in the pits right now, but we happen to have an Australian in the field, all Americans, yes, and then one lone Australian. And I have no idea where he came from.
No, absolutely no idea. No idea who, what Australian commentator could possibly be riding on board the bonnet of his car.
Well, I was trying to show it, but I can't. With it in pit road, I can't.
He's not on track at the moment, so and we can't because I don't even know if he's in the car. Well, it's not even light enough to show it, so
no, it's not.
We have to wait for the actual race to start, and then maybe look off the back of someone else's car.
Let me see.
That's about as close as we can get it.
No, let me see.
That's the zoom button. Oh.
Who is that guy? What is that?
Oh, who is that? Oh, I wonder who that hunk of a commentator could be, possibly. I really hope that car does not rear-end somebody, because that's going to be awkward to explain to my partner who's watching at the moment as well. So
that is, yes.
As the warm-up just comes to an end. We'll get a better view of it once they're under lights and they're racing around here. But warm-ups just finished up, Ewan. Looking forward to this race start. We averaged, I think, what did we average? I think it was every 9 laps last week. We averaged a caution by the end of the race. So hopefully tonight we're a little bit better off, and maybe go every 10 laps or so.
Yeah, well, that would be a start. I can't remember how many we ended up with actually. at the end last week. I'll just get that up. It was 9 cautions over the course of 80 laps. So, yeah, about that. Let's have a look, though, at the starting grid, though, ready for the Hawkers Automotive 100 here from Nashville Superspeedway. And it's Logan Gill who takes pole ahead of Cody Nelson. Bailey Brannan and Charles Rinkel will share the second row with Trey Jones and John Roberts on row 3. Cody Pruitt, last week's winner, will start 7th ahead of Chris Hone, with Devin Trusty and Tyler Murgy rounding out the top 10. Robert Stevens Jr. is ahead of Caleb Ross to round off row 6. William Hawker from Hawkers Automotive is in 13th ahead of Paul Harris. Tyler Miller is next to Jack Smathers, with Mike Rinker and Shane Johnson on row 9. Trey Grabber and Brian Simmons rounds out the top 20. Joe Dyson and Chris Mackey are on row 11. And now we're over a second off a pole, by the way. Booger Dickey, the second, is next ahead of Sean Sulfidis. Then it's Jack Anderson, the only non-American in the field, 25th, ahead of Levi Murdoch. Neither of those two set times. Neither did Corey Uecker, Quinton Morrow, Taylor Strong, or B Strong at the back end of the field of 30 drivers. So a quick pace lap, Hamish, before we come around the other side and take the green flag here. But we're ready for the start of this race, and hopefully, as you say, we get better than 9 laps average in terms of that caution rate.
So obviously, Logan Gill was involved in a couple of incidents last week. New livery on the car, the wheel and entry now, the number 2. Good-looking car out there at the front of the field. I do like when they try and make the cars look as realistic as possible. We've got a sexy grid lined up for you as well as we run round towards the start-finish line once again. But Nashville is going to be intense. It's going to be fast-paced. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see how long we last under green, Ewan.
Absolutely. As the Hawkers Automotive 100 gets underway, Nashville Superspeedway playing host to the second round of the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. The green flag waves. We are underway in Nashville. For 4, and it is pole sitter, the number 2 car, Logan Gill, who takes the lead here at Nashville. Very clean start, and actually you saw it off of 2. He was even able to take the racing line through the first turn. So Logan Gill with a great start, exactly what you want from the pole. The outside of the front row, though, for Cody Nelson was less kind. He's down to 4th.
Yeah, he is already here. We can see as well Trey Jones putting some early pressure on Bailey Brannan in P2 at this stage, but you mentioned Nelson. He's been the big loser off this race start, down 2 spots. Scrambling already is the mid-pack and the rear of the field too, so those drivers towards the rear trying to get into a rhythm, trying to find some early overtakes happening as well. The front of the field, though, getting into that single line of stern. We'll just see how much or how effective it is for drivers if they get caught offline and if they get caught on their lonesome on the mid or high line whilst others are running the inside line. We saw how important the being in the train was last week, Ewan, at Daytona. I think it's going to be a similar scenario tonight at Nashville, but it'll depend on how quickly or how willing they will be to get into the double file line astern, but at the moment it looks to be a single lane here out at Nashville.
There's some interesting photo editing.
What an image on Trey Jones! What an image. That is elite, I must say. That is fantastic.
Excellent editing skills there. But anyway, we'll leave him to it in the 1 car. He's in amongst the battles, actually. In this,
here we go, Ewan. This will best describe that photo. The best describes it, I feel.
I have to say, the funny part about this is, the cars are sitting a little high, but I've had trouble moving them. But most people's photos will be okay. But the Twisted T car with the guy with the American flag behind him, there was a Twisted T kind of got made famous by a reel that took off here in the United States. I'm not going to elaborate on it too much, but let's just say a guy got knocked out cold by a can of Twisted Tea. So, I don't know. It's just pretty funny. Anyway. Let's see.
Well,
Let's bounce around and see if anybody else's photos are a little better. But anyway,
edited themselves.
yes.
There's a hint of a side-by-side for second, actually, between Brannon and Jones, but not getting anywhere for the moment. Still under pressure, though, in that 6 car is Bailey Brannon from Trey Jones. He's already up a couple of places, actually. Started inside of row 3 and is now 3rd. So that's a 2-place gain. Off of 4. Again, well, has a look, but this is a strong start from the 2 car, that's for sure. Logan Gill took pole in qualifying. Got the best lap currently as well, a 30.3. That's not going to be beaten now because the edge has just been taken off these tyres, but it's a stamp of authority at the start of the 75 laps, that's for sure.
Yeah, he may begin to build out this gap now, but obviously the more cautions that we get and the change-up strategy could really bury him deep in the field if he doesn't now maximize upon this start and really start to build this gap and strategize perfectly. I do think, Ewan, that strategy is going to be important tonight because taking your tyres at the right time is obviously going to be important because then you get the grip advantage, but it's also going to be important of, well, when are you going to allow yourself to go deep in the field enough to try and fight your way forward? Because we know how much mid-pack madness there can be. We know how much there can be off a pace car restart as well. So that's going to be a tough balancing act for Logan tonight. He might have on-track pace, but does he have the racecraft amongst the pack to fight his way forward and be patient with it as well? We mentioned earlier, Jim, that patience was going to be important tonight. I think we're going to have to try and be like a hospital out here with that much patience on offer. So drivers are really going to have to be cautious throughout the race, but especially as those tyres get old, because as they get old, the grip goes away, and that's when mistakes can happen. So we've started off clean, but there's always the little niggling asterisks over the head of, well, when is that first crash going to happen?
Well, I don't disagree with you, and I like how you called me out before you made the hospital patients joke. That was clever. I caught that. But yeah, I think the beautiful part about Nashville is, though, as the tires start to go, you kind of spread out around the track. That's kind of the beauty of this place, man. I'm not going to say we're by any means going to go even remotely caution-free here, but I think it's going to surprise both of you. Just because of how wide the grooves are here, and I to be honest, I think I think a lot of these guys were somewhat embarrassed by some of the show that was put on last week, and I think that they feel like they're better as a league than what they showed last week, and I have a feeling that they're going to try to race a little smarter this week as well. I mean, certainly accidents are going to happen, but I think we're all going to be surprised by the difference from last week to this week.
And this, by the way, is one of the great battles out there on the circuit at the moment. We've been following it. Chris Mackey's been involved in it. Levi Murdoch is really coming through the field nicely. You can see him in the blue on the outside there in the number 88 in the Toyota. It's just with a photo finish over the line there for the end of lap 12. But it's been a good start from the 88 so far. That currently being driven by Murdoch, because up 8 places so far in the day. Taylor Strong was challenging him actually for most places gained. Mike Rinker has got the most now, though. He's at the front of the field in 7th. But yeah, all these guys are those who are fighting their way through from bad qualifyings, i.e. they didn't qualify, and now they're trying to come through the field. This is Tyler Murgy in the 80 car moving forward as well. He is, well, I'll say that, he's actually moved down 5 since the start of this one. He was inside the top 10 in qualifying. He's now 15th. That looks like a very tight race car through 1 and 2. He's nearly up in the fence, and he drops another place as we approach halfway in this first stage.
You've noticed as well the battle at the front of the field has started to come back together again. Gill has kind of got into cruise control mode. Brannon is starting to catch up 2 months against that. Gap's now back down to a second. So we'll see if these three start to battle. That could allow Charles Rinker into this battle pack as well and really get it nice and tasty for us, because he's got Nelson and Pruitt, the 2 Codys inside the top 10 just behind him. So that'll make it a nice little 6-way battle for us at the front of the field if that were to come together. I did notice that Levi Murdoch, who we mentioned before, Ewan, he did have a blink a little while ago, so hopefully that is not a continuous issue for him. Hopefully that's now sorted and he can just continue driving on and not maybe cause an incident by blinking out of existence. So hopefully for him in his race, he can continue on, and hopefully for everyone else, they don't have to deal with that on track.
Yeah, let's hope so. As we continue on here, because we did see it once or twice last week as well with one or two, but let's hope those kind of issues stay away as we follow Trey Jones here in third place. Just catching up, as you say, to Logan Gill out front at the moment. The front three covered by just about a second at the moment. But as Jim, you were talking about, these lap times have tailed off now. Last time round for Gill was a 31.3. His best lap so far is a 30.3. So we've seen a second drop off in just 15 laps. But you can't forget that we have a limit on tyre sets in this series. Just 3 tyre sets here tonight, which means you do have to spend some significant time on this circuit with some pretty poorly tyres.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I really do. That makes for better racing. It allows, when the grip goes away, the track it stops becoming a one groove racetrack, and I think that's going to give us the best side by side racing. And with the way this track is, you could be running side by side like these cars are, but yet they're not really close to each other, but they were still racing, and that's the beauty of this speedway when the tires start to wear. And I think we're going to see some good racing. Now, don't get me wrong, the cars are going to get a little out of shape here and there, but that's a good thing too. That makes for exciting racing.
It is, yeah. This is the battle for ninth place we're following in here, by the way. Paul Harris has just got ninth ahead of Robert Stevens, then Caleb Ross and John Roberts, who's down 6 places actually so far. He's down to 12, and he's at the back end of this group. And just catch a glimpse of him on the right. There he is. He's falling away, actually. Wonder whether he's just pacing himself here in this first stage. But as I mentioned earlier on, these guys are also fuel limited. So 22 to 24 laps expected in this first stage. I'll be honest though, Hamish, I think that the right call is to just take on a little bit of fuel, get you to that 30 lap point, but don't take on any tyres would be my advice, I think, for this first pit stop. Save that until there's a caution and everybody comes down pit lane. Maybe I'm wrong and they'll do it under green, but I would leave it, to be honest, and I would just take the fuel on board necessary to make it to the stage if it was me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think because they are limited and can't go to the stage end, there is no point coming in and taking tyres, because then you're just giving up track position, especially if you're in amongst that top 10 where it's worth points in this stage. So come in, take some fuel. If you take some track position out of that, that's a benefit to you, because then when we do go to stage break, you can take your tyres, and it's, it would be classified in quotes as a free pit stop because we go under caution for the stage break. So I agree. I think you just take the fuel, get your car to 30 laps. They should be able to make 30 laps on a set of tyres easily, Ewan. So I think that's probably the best choice, and then you save a change of tyre for probably another 30 laps later, around about maybe lap 60. So then you've got some good tyres left at the end of this race, and you're just managing them through the midpoint of the event here at Nashville.
Here comes the leader.
And there it is, Logan Gill. Oh goodness, slides his way in as well. It's a dangerous pit entry here, as they all are really at mile and a bit racetracks. It's really difficult to get on pit lane. Didn't see green flag pit stops at Daytona last week, so these are the first green flag stops we've seen all season. Let's follow the 2-car right the way to the end of a pretty badly lit pit lane, to be honest, in our racing, and now bring it into the front box. Oh, careful, braking too late. Got to remember, the brakes are terrible, so you've got to get it in time. There's the lack of jacks, though, Hamish, as you and I predicted. We're right for once. 7 laps to go. He's got enough fuel in to go to the end of the stage.
Yeah, no point taking the tyres, as we said. You're only doing, another 7 laps. You just put 7 laps of fuel in and get it to the stage break, and then you come in and you might take 8 laps to allow for the first caution lap of the stage break, so you can come into pit lane as Nelson and Co come into pit lane as well. Nelson, Ross, Harris, Rinker, Trusty, Murgy, Morrow, Simmons all in the lane now.
That's what I thought right there. Excuse me. That's what I thought was going to happen. He took 2 tires. That's what I would have done. I would have taken 2, because you can take 2 while the car is filling up. So that's what I would have done. What
if you're not filling the car up though, Jim? What if you're just taking enough to get you to the stage?
Somebody, and clearly Cody Nelson is probably one of those people that decided to fill the car up and take two, and is probably going to stay out during the stage break for track position. That's my guess.
He could either stay out, or he could come in and just take slightly less fuel because it would just top the car up. He'll then gain natural track position off of that, as well as Pruitt's into pit lane in the 98 entry as well. So we've had a couple of stops here. There are a few drivers who have not taken tyres in this stop. Logan Gill, Jack Anderson, Devon Trusty, Tyler Murgy, Logan Yuka, Trey Graber, Ryan Simmons have not taken tyres. Everyone else has taken at least 2 tyres on this stop.
If not all 4. And yeah, I see where you're coming from, Jim, especially for those who are not going to get any stage points anyway. You might as well take 4 at this stage and then maybe stay out of the next caution, because we have actually seen some of the guys go 25 laps, which suggests you can actually split this race if it is a more green flag race than maybe some are expecting. It could be split into 3 equally sized pieces at 25 laps apiece to get you to the 75 at the end of the day. Smathers and Roberts have gone 26 laps. So I would recommend a full tank and a full tyre change for them, as long as they don't fall off the lead lap, which certainly in Smathers' case he shouldn't do. Then, yeah, take 4, why not? But Logan Gill has taken no tyres. He's going to be chased down here, but he's got an 8-second buffer back to Bailey Brannan, and there are only 3 laps to go when he gets to line, 3.5 laps to go. So as long as he's not losing 2 seconds a lap, he should be good for the stage win.
One thing we'll be excited for as well is once we get to that stage break, we'll be able to keep an eye on some different battles throughout the field tonight. Of course, we have got double view feature on offer as well. So once we get past the stage break, Jim will be able to open that up, and we'll be able to just check out some battles at the front, at the back. We'll also be able to cut to drivers as they come through pit road, whilst keeping the live action on screen for you as well. So that's going to be an exciting feature that we get to introduce this week, Jim.
Yeah, I'm pumped about that. You and I have been doing the picture-in-picture for a while now, and we're really one of the only companies out there that offers it on a regular basis, and I think it makes for some exciting coverage. It's a great feature, and yeah, we'll open it up here after the stage break is over, which should be this lap, I believe, right?
I believe it'll be the end of lap 30 should be the stage break, I would say. So we'll see what happens when Logan Gill crosses the line, whether we get the caution or not.
I think we do, but let's see. That's the 17, by the way, on the outside of Quinton Morrow, trying to unlap himself. Just in front, Sean Schultz unlaps himself, and there you go.
Yeah, sorry. This is where it gets really hairy for Gill, because he's having to deal with this lap traffic as he comes through. And that's where he's under the most pressure, Ewan, of, well, it doesn't matter how quick he is and how much gap he's got. It only takes one lapped car to make a mistake and hit you, and all of a sudden you are in the pit lane having to fix your car. So for Gill there, that was high perspiration moment.
But he is going to get away with it. He's actually going to put 3 other cars a lap down, as you say. We're going to end up with 22 on the lead lap after the first stage. But over the line for Logan Gill, who wins the stage here at Nashville after 30 laps. He'll get 10 championship points to go along, and a playoff point should he make it to that final selection as well for the final 3 races. Over the line for 10th place, Chris Hone, and he picks up a point. There comes the caution. As you saw, they effectively stopped racing after the checkered flag for those who make it over the line at the end of lap 30, but the caution can't wave quite as early as they come over the line. It is waiting for the 10th place man to finish, and now that has happened. So Gill will get picked up by the pace car, and looking at some of the pit times, actually, Hamish could lose a lot of track position here, because he is in a bit of a minority as far as those who haven't changed any tyres yet goes.
Yeah, he will reap the benefits later in the race, of course, because he'll be able to take a tyre set later, so he'll have fresher rubber. But this is definitely going to put him deep in the field now. He took the track position to take the stage win points, of course. But, I think he's probably going to end up maybe just outside of the top 10 after this pit stop, if he does come in. There may be some drivers who filled the car, didn't take tyres, who are actually going to go even longer and maybe try and stretch this out to maybe lap 45. He's straight into pit lane, take this stop. Those other cars who took tyres have probably filled the car and are staying out for that track position, as you mentioned, Jim. So I think for Logan, he's going to be a bit more of a benefactor now because he's going to be able to obviously refill the car back up, put the tyres back on. He'll rejoin at the back of the field, but he will at least have had another pit stop put in. And if he can get this car now with a full tank, what are we, lap 31? If he can get to lap 55, he can make it home with one more stop.
So I'm curious here, what is some of these people thinking? We've got guys, we've got someone like Levi Murdoch. Levi Murdoch had a 7-second pit stop. That means he only took a minor amount of fuel, not even enough to fill the car for sure, and certainly no tires, and he stayed out. Why would
Maybe
you,
he doesn't realize the pit road is open.
Why would you, why would you do that? And also the one right here, right below him is, that's your buddy Jack. I wonder, I'm confused there. 9-second stop. I don't think that's enough time to fill the car. Maybe it was. I don't think so.
He might just be wanting to take track position more so than anything.
Do you know him? Do you know him well enough that we could possibly pull him in and talk to him during this break?
That's if he is in the lobby or not.
Oh yeah, he probably is.
Oh no, he is in there, but he is muted at the moment. So we could.
Well, they're supposed to be muted. So if you pull him in, does he have where he can hear though?
Oh yeah, he can hear. He's not deafened. So we can chat to him.
Pull him in. See,
the chat will be happy with this as well. Mr. Anderson, we need to ask, you've not pitted under this caution. You took 9 seconds of fuel. How far will this take you now on this stint?
If I'm honest, completely no idea. So we'll find out. I'm just raw dogging it.
That's my kind of strategy. A little raw dog right there. There we go.
I was more focused about getting Hamish on the bonnet, if anything, to be honest.
Well, too much paint, a lot of strategy, I think, has been going on.
Yeah.
No, he had strategy, but it was strategy to get himself on the broadcast.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Up 13 though, Jackos. So you're ready to race forward. Did you take 2 tires on that stop or no tires?
Just 2.
Okay.
The left tires were barely used, so.
No,
right,
barely
we better
use it,
send you off.
use it again. But best of luck on the restart.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Okay, that was a quick fire interview, just in time, ready for the restart as the field enter the Chopper House Restorations restart zone. The green flag waves again, and we are underway again. 41 to go here at Nashville, and new race leader Bailey Brannan takes the field in towards turn 1 for the first time. And now we look back to see some of those guys who pitted under that most recent caution. From 15th place on backwards, they will be trying to come through the field on slightly fresher tyres on the 15 or so in front of them.
Jim, what have you done? You have fired up my partner in the chat by saying the words raw dogging. Thank you so much.
Your buddy said it. I just was he called his strategy. He called his strategy raw dogging, and I just simply I'm just sharing the message.
We got a great battle happening at the front of the field as well.
Sharing the love, so to speak.
Oh, you got to share the love as much as you can. We've got 40 laps to go though in this race, so we still expect one more pit stop from the majority of the field. Oh, actually, everyone's going to have to do one more stop. They can't make enough laps to get home from here. I've currently got our previous race leader, Logan Gill, on my side of the screen as well, Jim. He's battling away for a top 10 position at the moment, but this is now the struggle for Logan. He is amongst a heavy battle pack in the midfield by pitting under this caution. Hopefully he's not caught up in anything untoward and he can just continue to fight his way through, because it could very easily get quite chaotic in amongst this mid-pack, and that could then hurt him later in the race.
Yeah, well, we're starting to see some of the best laps in the race actually come by now. Paul Harris just set a personal best last time round. Cody Pruitt has taken the fastest lap on the restart, although he wasn't one of those who came in. So I think this mostly is Logan Gill making up places on merit, actually. The tyres are for sure making a small impact here, but actually what he's impressing more, I think, is the fact he's been able to make these overtakes without really too much assistance. The field is pretty even as far as tyre wear goes at the moment. But where does he go now? Too wide in front of him. Does he dive to the inside and make it 3? Surely not. He'll just stay on the inside here. 39, lap 39. We're past halfway, by the way, here. And so Logan Gill is just looking to get what he can from this restart. Another couple there as he goes through 1 and 2. Another couple of places.
Yeah, he's just trying to sneak his way through now, isn't he, in the wheel and entry? That car is easily seen on track. A bunch of amongst a field of black-based cars, that red and white really standing out. He stood out on the timing tower with his pace in qualifying and in practice as well. He stood out to us last week, Ewan, before he was turned at turn 1 at Daytona. Tonight he'll be hoping to reap the benefits of being so quick and trying to take his first win of the season here in round 2. We've got 35 laps to go, so I would assume that the cars want to try and get to, as I said, maybe lap 53 to 55 to guarantee to get home, because that will be then the critical lap for them to make the checkered flag.
Yeah, although at very maximum we saw 26 laps in that previous run. I'm not sure how I'd feel pitting on lap 49 and making it home, but it feasibly is possible, as we saw in the first part of this race. He slips through again, this time on Paul Harris, and he's now into the top 5. As I said, fastest lap at the moment has gone to Cody Pruitt as another pass from Gill. Down the inside of Charles Rinker now into 3 and 4. He's on another place. Now he's looking to the outside of Mike Rinker just in front over the line. There's a bit of a gap up to first and second as they battle away, but Gill is making this look easy. He switches from the outside to the inside. He's contact! It was turn 1. And they get away with it somehow. He's nearly turned Mike Rinker into the fence at turn 1 and they get away with it somehow.
What?
Mike Rinker will not be a happy man, Jim.
Oh my gosh, what a save by Rinker though. Holy cow. That car was completely sideways.
I mean, it was a proper Mr. Drifter moment. He somehow pulled it up and got it saved, but Logan Gill aggressively trying to fight his way back through the field towards the front. So he's obviously got the freshest tyres of the bunch at the moment. He took a full set on that stop under caution, and he's reaping the grip benefits right now. Let's watch this back.
That's it. So, no switches from the outside to the inside. Well, I mean, you said, Hamish, that Rinker won't be very pleased with him. Oh, maybe it was Jim, I don't know. But for me, I'm not as experienced in over racing as you guys and whatever, but he seemed to me to switch from the outside to the inside, and he did have his nose alongside, hence why there was contact. I know it wasn't very far alongside, but even so, for me that was maybe Rinker turning into one, trying to take the racing line when there was somebody on the low side of him down there.
Yeah, I think there's probably a part to play on both of them. Obviously, Logan wants to come through as quickly as possible, but Mike probably wasn't aware of where the 2 car was in comparison to his car. So it might just, you see there, he wanted to go for it at the start. We got a caution here. So someone's had a moment. I'm not sure who. Is it Chris Hone?
Let's see.
It is Chris Hone.
He's currently 21st, Chris Hone. Oh, he's been turned.
Oh, my God.
And then there's the secondary contact that properly sends him into the fence. Gets collected as well by Ryan Simmons, was that? Didn't identify the number on the way past. I think it looked like 32 to me. But he was just collected on the way past. And maybe it was Sean Schultz this, I don't know. But yeah, that's into 3 and 4 turns. So see this again here. Honer's got... Oh, he's got 2 down the inside, actually. I think he only realises that, or he thinks there's only 1. And then he gets clipped by the 11. And then he properly smacks the wall. Who did he get clipped by
32
there?
to 32.
32. 32.
No. He was turned by the 92.
Right.
But he clipped the 32 on the way through.
The 32
so
was the last car that hit him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the field coming into pit lane, by the way. Cody Pruitt, Chris Hone, Tyler Murgy, Logan Yuka, John Roberts, all staying on track. Everyone else is down pit road at the moment, so we'll see how this now affects the race strategy of some drivers. I have noticed as well, Not to show favouritism here, but Jack Anderson, who we spoke to a little bit earlier, has not taken any tyres on this stop. He's only taken fuel to get track position because obviously he needs to get another 10 laps out of this car, and then he only needs one more pit stop to get home. So we'll see how well this strategy plays out for him, but he'll be on fresh rubber towards the end of this race.
Well, that's his.
Is he trying to do this whole race on? Sorry,
Well-
is he trying to do this whole race on no tyres?
No,
Well,
he took.
he took two. He took
Yeah.
the right-hand side tyres on the
Right.
last stop.
Hey, what's he doing? What's his strategy? He's raw dogging it. These tires, he's running them raw. That's that's the man's strategy. He's raw dogging. That's it.
Those left-hand side tyres are going to be absolutely raw by the end, that's for sure. Goodness
Well,
me.
he's just
Well-
he came out of pit road in a great position, but for whatever reason, he's just kind of let the whole field past him. I'm not sure why.
Now he's going to
Unless
drive
he's
down on the
dealing with an
apron.
issue.
It kind of the way he's acting, it kind of looks like he is, doesn't it? He's kind of pulled
Yeah.
off to the side like he's dealing with something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm unsure what it might
It's like
be.
he got an end of
Oh
line.
no, he might have a rear of line because he might have sped into pit lane or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's possible.
Oh, dear.
Well, he could be that. He might have a dingo out there chewing on his, or a wombat out there chewing on his internet cable too. Who knows?
Jim, how often do you think I've ever seen a dingo in my life?
I don't know.
It's got to be daily, isn't it?
One time at a zoo. Other than that, I have never seen a dingo in the wild.
Well, it's kind of,
Because they're all in the zoo.
exactly. They put,
I've seen wombats, but they're normally on the side of the road having a nap. To put it lightly.
oh, so are you saying I resemble a wombat? Because I
No,
not
not
could
at all,
definitely
not
be
at all.
seen on the side of the road taking a
No,
nap.
you know what? I've seen more deer in Australia than I have dingoes, Jim. So
Well, I can believe that. Anyway, the restart coming up, if we could just be serious for a second, as we get into the Chop House Restorations restart zone. We're back underway, and it's going to be about this front five and how quickly they fall through the field here, and where are the others going to be. It's a good jump from Trey Jones. Oh, look at that pack in the background there. It's actually been a very good jump for Cody Pruitt here. Oh, and there's contact in the background.
Oh.
Could be trouble back there if they're not careful. Somebody definitely found the fence, and this is where the guys on old tyres are going to run up head-to-head with those on new tyres.
yeah, this is where the pressure starts to begin for them now. Just about 37 laps left to run in this race. Oh, no, sorry, my math's off there. 27 laps left to run in this race. Getting your maths correct.
Got a car going sideways.
Oh, we do indeed.
I think he saved it.
Somehow he did.
I think it was the 27. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah.
I think it was the 27.
We got three wide action happening back there. The scramble has really begun here, Ewan. I've also noticed as well, Chris Mackay, Logan Gill, they're battling away inside the top 10. They're in behind Tyler Murgy and Trey Jones. Oh, this battle is getting feisty. And I think back, what happened last time, Ewan, when we had Tyler Murgy and Logan Gill on track together? Logan Gill got turned by Tyler Murgy at turn 1 at Daytona. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. But they are getting ferocious and aggressive in amongst this field.
Man, he slid up. He slid up right in front of Murgy there. I thought he was going to spin himself off Murgy's nose right there for a second. Murgy must have let up.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing when they ran super close there, actually. Yeah, they very nearly ran each other into the fence. That might have been Gill just giving a little bit less room to the 80, just to say, I do remember that last week, by the way. 3 wide out of turn 2, very nearly, as the 91 car of Paul Harris tries to get into the top 10. He can't do it. Oh, although the 43 of John Roberts thought they were 3 wide, and so he went up high. That's terrific understeer from Murgy. Now there's contact, a concertina effect out of 4. We somehow survive.
Oh, you almost feel like there's an electricity once again here, Ewan, that we are only a few moments away possibly from the big one happening. We're only, we've got 24 laps to go, but these drivers are getting feisty right now. If they were to pit at this point under green, they could make it home on fuel. So we are at critical lap, but man, oh man, it is getting feisty amongst this field.
I think this is a perfect time to bring up our picture-in-picture so we can get a shot at some of these different battles going on all over the track here.
Of course, our race leader at the moment, Trey Jones, Ewan, is doing a top effort, but man, these battle packs are intense, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Jones, one of those who did pit under the previous caution. The furthest up who didn't, by the way, is Cody Pruitt, who's still fifth. And now we do get a caution. That's the one everyone's been waiting for, especially those who stayed out on the previous one. Although I guess it's not really worked out for them because they are going to get their new tyres, but lots of the others won't take any tyres. But everybody will be able to fuel from here and make it to the finish. Let's see how this caution was brought out. The slam dunk sent into the wall. For the 81, that's Zach Smathers, who was sent into the wall there.
Yeah, that was like PK Subban playing for the Nashville Predators there, just getting elbowed straight into the barrier. That 81 car is not healthy at the moment.
Here he goes with his hockey references.
Well, I thought we're in Nashville, Jim. I'm going to reference the Preds and the fact that PK Subban is the only player who's ever played for the Preds that I remember the name of, if I'm honest. So if we ever go racing at a track in Montreal, I can mention him again because he also played for the Canadians. But yeah, race leader's in, as is the 98 car as well. Chris Mackey has actually stayed out on track now and is just in behind the pace car, so trying to take some track position. Everyone else is coming because they know they can make it home from this point. So this is a very interesting strategy now from those sort of, I think it's roughly maybe 12 drivers, Ewan, who stayed out. Could this be a nail in the coffin for them in this race, or do you think if we get another caution they may be able to get back into it with some fresh rubber at the end?
I think for most of them they took their last set of tyres in the last stop anyway, so it might not matter for too many of them. I think the more pressing issue for me is about whether those guys can actually make it home on fuel, because if we get enough cautions they might be able to. 30 laps is not impossible if they're going to save, you know, about 2 laps every caution. Some guys did 26 on a full green flag run, albeit they may have been fuel saving while in the green flag run. I reckon a couple of cautions, so one more after this one, and I reckon some of these guys might be able to make it to the end of the race. But after all, there's only 20 laps left that they will be up against it, and of course they've got to hope there's no overtime like last week as well, otherwise they might run out of fuel as well.
Well, Logan Gill has not taken tyres on that stop. He's only taken fuel. So I predict that he is maybe thinking there'll be another caution and he takes some fuel towards the back end of the... Oh, he takes some tyres, at the back end of the race.
That's exactly what's happening.
Has he got any left?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got a set
left.
He's got a full set. He's got a full set left. So I think he's saving them for a late caution to pit and get tyres on the car. So
I think your buddy Jack Anderson's got 2 sets left.
Well, he used only rights, so he's got, and I think, and he's done a 9-second stop. So I reckon he's taken rights again.
We know his.
Oh my God.
We know his. Well, the simple fact, the truth is, these left sides do not get that abused. You know, if you're running the car the way you're supposed to, which is going to be you're running it off the right front, or preferably you're running it off the right rear. Those lefts can last a long time. It's not the worst strategy. And he can come in late if there's a late caution and pop on 4 fresh tires, and that can make a huge difference.
So because he's taken rights on both the stops, it's good. You'll be able to explain this better to me, Jim, because I'm not quite sure how it works with limited tire sets. Does that mean now, because he has 4 tires left, he can put all 4 on the car, or can he only do left sides? No. He the way iRacing does it, he can put he can have a full set. So yeah. So that's smart.
The way it would work in real life as well. Yeah. Meanwhile, into the Chop House Restorations restart zone again, and we are underway again with 19 to go this time around. Chris Mackey has gotten to the front, and he is one of many drivers to stay out during that caution. About 10 drivers as well will follow that Whelan entry of the number 2, Logan Gill, again. They come through the field again as he changed onto his last set of tyres, I believe, anyway, during that last pit stop. And will now try and overtake the guys on slightly older tyres. But don't forget, the last run wasn't very long. And so they're not going to be that old as they side by side for the lead across the line.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers getting into it. Caution's thrown once again, so something's happened amongst this field. So Chris Mackie will be able to just etch back ahead now of those front runners and situate himself back into the lead of this race. Be interesting to see if they come into pit road.
Yeah, and indeed, who comes in if we do see some? Oh, that was the slide and the spin. That number 11, I saw sliding across the circuit, and that looks like it was enough. Yep, Taylor Strong.
Looked like
the fence.
It looked like he caught a
it.
tank slapper there a little bit. That's
he got
line.
hit.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's the blue line car. I didn't catch the number on it, though.
Well, that 88's still blinking, even on the replay, so might have to rename him to Eyelids here.
Very good.
I'm trying to figure out which car that was that was involved in that incident.
So it's number 11, the one that caused it. One that actually ended up in the wall.
Yeah,
was
Right
the
across the
11
circuit.
car.
So is Tyler Strong. Yes, okay. All right. Let's see.
So a couple of cars coming down pit road now. Paul Harris, Caleb Ross, William Hawker, Quinton Morrow, Taylor Strong, all in the pit lane.
Oh yeah, Taylor just drifted down on the Bass Pro Shops car. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. Did your buddy Jack come in and take tires here?
He's not coming at this point. He's up to P9 at the moment, up 16 behind Sean Schultheis inside the top 10. So those guys have actually come up the field together. Mackie up 21 into the lead. Rinker up 13 into P4. Trusty up 7 into P2 as well. So there's been some big gainers in amongst that top 10. We'll see how this strategy play works out for them towards the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, considering that Jack's doing one of the worst strategies I've ever seen, one of the worst thought-out strategies I've ever seen, he's doing well. Up in the top 10.
That's why it's the best thought strategy, Ewan. He's managed to get himself into the top 10.
Yeah, maybe.
It's those,
thinking about it less is actually better.
Look, he had a plan. He went in. He's raw dogging. I'm just putting it out there. There it is.
Yeah. And he's got a full set available to him towards the end of this race. So taking those tyres at the end, I mean, he could have the grip advantage for days. Him and Logan are probably the only two drivers in amongst that top 10 with a full set left to put on the car.
If you think about it, the man with the raw dog strategy could come in late and take fresh rubber.
Yep.
I'm just not sure there's going to be enough green flag racing in this race left for him to actually benefit enough from it, to be honest. I'm just not sure there is going to be enough life left in this race.
Well, even if there's not, Ewan, if we go caution after caution after caution to the checkered flag of this race, he just has to survive because he pit on lap 54. He's got fuel to get home.
That's true.
So all he needs to do is just survive out there and stay out of trouble, and he'll be, inside the top 10 at the end of this race.
By the way, I actually think that the guys pitted on lap 45 can make it home now as well. There's been so much caution.
They probably could, and we're very likely going to get another caution as well because the rear of the rear end of the race is often the most caution filled. So I do agree with you. But in saying that, he's also got fresher rubber than they do, so he'll have somewhat of a grip advantage over them as well. So will Logan Gill. Although I actually don't think he took tyres on that last stop, so he's probably in the same boat as the guys who put on lap 45. But we'll see how this works out now as the pace car comes in and we get back underway for Nashville.
Absolutely. Into the Chop House Restorations restart zone we go again. And it's a longer hold this time round, just all the way into it from the 9 car. And we're now back underway again with Chris Mackie, qualified 22nd, by the way, in this race, right at the back of the field. He's now in the conversation for perhaps a race win here at Nashville tonight. That is how quickly things can change in oval racing. 14 to go. How much green flag running are we going to get in this run, and how long is it going to be until we see another caution? Are we going to run right the way to the end with this situation? We will wait and see as those on newer tyres try and come through.
So, well, what we've got on the bottom screen is a little pack of 4 cars who pit on lap 54 Chris Rink has just been passed by Logan Gill, by the way. But as we run up towards the front of the field, those guys are then obviously on older tyres. As we get another yellow flag thrown, William Hawker has had a moment at the back of the field, and he is parked right in front of the start-finish line here, Jim. So again, the more cautions we get, the better that this is now going to benefit the front runners who've either not come in or who have gotten track position through their pit stop strategy. This is how it happened. Oh my God! And just to confirm, Jim, that was the car involved in the incident earlier where we couldn't find them. That's the 90 that turned, I think it was the 11 into the wall when we were trying to figure out which car it was. That was the car right there. So we'll see who comes down pit road for fresh rubber. I think, though, if you're in the top 10, there's no point coming in right now because we're going caution after caution.
Yeah, I agree. But if you're back there mid-pack and you got 4 freshmen like your buddy, he's in 8th right now,
he's not even mid-pack. I think he should just stay there.
Well,
just stay out. Wait.
Yeah.
If we get a good long green period, maybe another. If we go 10 laps, Jim, and we get a yellow flag to give us a green-white checkered ending, that's when you come in and you take your full set of tires.
I tell you what.
At this stage, you're better off staying out.
While we're contemplating that strategy and waiting to see, doesn't look like anybody's going to come in other than the Quentin Morrow and Shane Johnson. Let's see if we can take a quick look at our sponsor commercial while we got a chance under caution here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Only getting started when it's midnight, keeping it tight. If go wanna go to war, it can get dark, but we stay bright. Coming like a knight, it's on sight. Ever touch my sleeve? They wanna disagree when it's clear that I'm speaking facts. Man like me, you know I'm proactive. Never gonna stop till I see the big man's on flats.
Hop on the front door, it's like midnight. Don't lose your grip, cause you might fall out again. Off-white whip, need for speed. I'm not switching the lane. Pick up the pace, bro, like that.
So still under caution here from Nashville Superspeedway as we draw this race to a close. 10 to go as we begin this lap, by the way. We'll have 9 to go on this restart. Very much looking forward to seeing how it is going to go. Myself, Ian O'Leary, Hamish Monroe, Jim Cunningham with you for the second round of the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship live from Nashville Superspeedway. Big thanks to the sponsors who are making this broadcast possible. One of them, of course, Skylog Audio, Visual and Lighting, you just saw there. The Hawkers Automotive, of course, for sponsoring the Hawkers Automotive 100 here tonight. It's going to be an exciting finish, though, Jim. Just remains to be seen how much green flag running we're going to get. That's the only big thing here.
And the thing was, we had the first 3 quarters of this race was perfect. There was a couple of cautions, but nothing major. And we seem to be having one after another, but we'll see. I think these guys are still capable, but now they're going to be running a lot harder, obviously now. So we'll have to see.
I think aggression is going to be the major factor, Ewan. We saw last week how aggressive they got towards the end of the race when we were caution after caution. And as it did last week, it might lead to us getting, again, caution after caution all the way to the end of this race. So we'll see how much patience they've got. But we're getting into the nitty and gritty. We're getting into crunch time. They know they're not too far away from the checkered flag. They've got to take their positions when they can.
Well, let's see how they go on this restart as we move towards the Chop House Restorations restart zone again. And field stacking up. They're almost hitting each other before they even get to the green here. This is going to be a lively restart when that green flag flies. 9 to go from Nashville. And Chris Mackey again gets the field underway. He's led well as he's restarted, but we're going to be back under caution straight away here because there's a car spun at the start-finish line. I wonder if it is actually going to come at all here as the cars scatter to avoid. We're staying green here somehow.
Yeah, I don't know if Barney actually had enough time to even get the yellow flag pulled out. I'll be honest with you, Ewan. So we're still under green flag, and this field is back underway once again.
It's very spread out as a result, but there was cars stacking up in the background. I noticed it right from the front. Obviously, Constantina's all the way down, but the guys almost running into each other, coming to the flag there, and that was not ideal. Here comes Logan Gill. He's in third place at the moment. Bailey Brannan just up in front. He last pitted lap 45. Down the bottom of your screen, by the way, a replay of what happened. One of the guys getting hit and spun round. That's car 32 of Ryan Simmons, who is now almost 3/4 of a lap down already. On board though with Gill. 7 to go. He looks to the outside of 1 and 2, and now there is a caution.
Yep, caution is thrown once again. And I think it might be Sean Shalithis. Oh, and Jack Anderson. Oh no, what has happened to both of them?
Oh, hello. It's happening up ahead here. Oh, wow. Lots of cars involved. 88, 92, 7 and 34. All will have damage after that. Jack Anderson's in 34.
That bonnet's come off that car. I'll be signing it for a lucky fan after the race. So if you want to win personally signed bonnet with my head on it, then yeah, you can chat to me in the pit lane after the race. We'll get you sorted.
Let's take a look.
Did you just ram someone with your head there? Did you headbutt someone?
No, actually, it was a lower region of my body, just below the torso.
Oh, there you go.
There's
yeah.
Jack Anderson may raw dog it. I'm not going to claim that I do. So,
No.
So yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go
I
back.
actually strategized.
Let's go back to the Skylark commercial while we're sorting through all of this.
Only gets started when it's midnight, keeping it tight if people wanna go to war. It can get dark, but we stay bright. Coming like a night, it's on sight if it touch my feet. And they wanna disagree when it's clear that I'm speaking facts. Man like me, you know I'm proactive. Never gonna stop till I see the big man's on flats.
Hop on the front door, it's like midnight. Don't lose your grip, cause you might fall out again. Off-white whip, need for speed. I'm not switching the lane. Pick up the pace, bro, like that.
At 5 to go here from Nashville, and we're pretty much already in overtime territory, aren't we, really? Green-white checkered territory. It's not quite going to be the same rules, Hamish, you understand, but this is going to be a short green flag run to the checker flag, if indeed we get all the way to the checker flag, and if not, we will start to go over the advertised distance of 75 laps for the second round in a row.
Yeah, on average, we are about 4 miles currently longer than our advertised length of the season. So if we go longer again, we might have to keep that tally actually, figure out how many extra laps we do each week, and that will then determine how long the season is, and then rename all the races, because last week it was the Skylark 200 that then changed into the Skylark 204. So we'll see what happens tonight for the Hawkers Automotive 100, and if we go an extra 2 or so miles. So it'd be interesting if we only did 2 extra laps, Ewan, then it's the Hawkers 102.6 miles. So
here, let me give y'all a project. Let's talk about Mike Rinker here a little bit. Up 13 spots, obviously our leader. We'll talk about him first. He's up 21 spots in the lead right now. Chris Mackey, as the pace car has turned the lights out, and we will be going green here. Mike Rinker up 13 spots, and Logan Euchre up 19 spots.
Yeah, by the way, on the Mike Rinker point, just don't forget that he nearly got turned at turn 1. Was it Logan Gill who got into the side of him earlier on in the day?
Yes.
He was certainly very close to an almost race-ending crash there. So, yeah, that was that's even more impressive for him. But, yeah, the big story has got to be the 9 car. Chris Mackey hasn't been in now for nearly 30 laps, but he is still out front. And, well, can he hold on? Especially with Logan Gill right there, it's going to be very, very difficult. There's nobody else really around with as newer tyres as him until you have to go back a couple of rows. So it's going to be about Gill, really, and whether Chris Mackey can hold on. Into the Chop House Restorations restart zone we go then. And we've got 3 laps to go here from Nashville Superspeedway. Green flag waves again. Will it be for the final time tonight in round number 2?
So it's a good restart there from the front of the field. We sit on board with Mike Rinker in P4 at the moment as well. Getting a good view of that front three battling away. 3 laps left here, Ewan, so hopefully we can keep it green right to the end and get to the allotted 100 miles here of Nashville Superspeedway. There's touring and throwing for position in the background, but this front pack is getting feisty. 2 laps left to run. It's anyone's game at the front of the field, but if these guys take each other out, Mike Rinker will be right there to take advantage.
It's Brannon on the inside here of Mackie, who's gone wide, and he's going backwards here. Chris Mackie, after leading some laps towards the end, is just going backwards. Oh, and he's in the wall. Logan Gill's in the wall for the second week in a row. Oh, and there's a caution. It's a caution right before the end of this race. Logan Gill again in the fence from a race-winning position. Oh, my word, we're going to overtime here at Nashville. The second round in a row will extend our race distance. And what does that do, by the way, to the guys who pitted on lap 45? How much fuel do they have left, and can they make it here to a green, white, checkered scenario?
I think we've had enough cautions that I feel they can make this green, white, fleckered. I've done it again. Green, white, checkered scenario here, Ewan. But the car to notice is Cody Pruitt in P2. Tyres on board that car. Very, very fast car as well. And our race winner from round 1. He's up there behind Bailey Brannon, who pitted on 45. So his tyres are a lot older than Cody's. This is going to be an intense battle right to the end.
So if you look at the, if you look at this crash, it was Mackie that got into Gill, it looked like to me. I'm going to do something I hate doing here. Watch, I'm going to jump back, and then I'm going to back it up about 10 seconds so we have time to really look at it.
Or do you not think that, well, we'll see it here in a second. Here we go. It looks to me as if Gill comes up into the 9.
You're right,
there.
he did. You're right, he did.
Yeah. Off of 2, just didn't quite give enough room. And, it's towards the end of the race. You give less room anyway because, it's towards the end. But that, for me, is where it all starts. And Gill almost turns himself into the wall this time round.
Yeah, the thing is, and he kept the car on the track. If he doesn't have a, well, he's way down. He pitted. Okay, so I guess he's going to come in if he's got a fast repair.
He'll take those tires and that fast repair.
Yep, he should take those tires.
Okay.
Yeah, he only took 2. He took 2 on that stop there, so only taking the lefts.
No, he wouldn't take lefts.
Interesting how that's what he took. His car went up on left hand. It went up on for the jack for the left hand side.
That can't be right. Unless that was a mistake, you would never take lefts in that spot.
Has to be all he had left.
Yeah, I mean,
Although,
no, that doesn't matter. Yeah. No, you would never take lefts though. So that either was a, some kind of flaw in the iRacing thing, or he made a mistake and somehow selected the wrong tire combo, because you would there's no way you would take lefts at this point.
You're right about that. Yeah, I got that wrong. It doesn't matter what you've got left. You'll even if you just got 2, you just take rights. But yeah, that was odd. Unless we're missing something from here, that was a bit odd. Gill though down to 19th, and he's only got a couple of laps on this restart to actually get up the field, which is going to be the real problem. This, by the way, is the end of lap 77. This race is going to go at least 4 laps longer than advertised.
Yeah, so this will be it though, right?
That means we are running 106 miles tonight, Ewan, roughly.
105.3.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Don't you love it when Ewan whips out that math on you like that? I'm so glad he did though. I did not want to have to take off my shoes to count that high.
I'd like to know where you got 0.3 of a toe from. But,
well, it was a lawnmower accident back in the 80s. It was a bad deal,
yeah, pretty grisly. Anyway,
yeah, it was
God
rough.
damn it, Ewan, you were right as well. It is 105.3. That is ridiculous. I just checked 4 times 1.33, and it was 5.32 is the answer. So.
Here we go, guys.
Yeah, well, I was a decimal place out. Whatever. 2 laps to go then. Into the Chop House Restorations restart zone. Perhaps the final time today. Green flag waves from Nashville. 2 to go. Bailey Brannon leads off the front. Last pitted though, lap 45. Cody Pruitt, the first of them, on those slightly newer tyres in 3rd.
Yeah, we're on board with Cody Pruitt at the moment on the second screen. Oh no, we're not. We've got a Skylark out apparently playing, so that's That's interesting. But
That was
no,
my
we're right on
bad.
board with Cody at the moment, trying to battle his way forward. He is up now to P2 and chasing down Bailey Brannan. How poor are those tyres on board the 6 car? 1 lap to go. White flag this time by at Nashville, and it's anyone's game at the front of the field. Can the fresh rubber of Cody Pruitt get into the lead, or is the 6 going to survive one more run round Nashville?
Can Brannan survive the final lap by Blue Line Technologies? He's got half a lap to go, and with those slightly older tyres, he looks like he's going to hold on here to the Hawkers Automotive 100. Round the final corners, it is going to be Bailey Brannan who wins from Nashville Superspeedway in a green-white checkered finish for the second week in a row. It's Bailey Brannan who takes the victory. Cody Pruitt ends up short, finishing second, but after his win at Daytona last week, he'll be most pleased with his start to the season. He finishes just in behind Brannan, who bounces back his first top 10 of the season. Got to the end last week, but finished a few laps down in a late crash. But this week, no such late crashes. He brings it home after a last run, by the way, of 34 laps. Bailey Brannan takes the victory here at Nashville.
Yeah, there was a late moment there on the last lap, but because we had caught the white flag, the caution was not thrown. That was back in the mid-pack there. But, I mean, what a race. Logan Euchre up 23, most positions gained this evening into the top 10. In fact, into the top 5. He got P4 in the end, and a great effort there from Logan. But Bailey Brannan, what a race win this evening. An absolutely spectacular performance. Unfortunately, I've got to quickly dash off, but it was a great race, a fantastic broadcast as ever, and I'm so looking forward to next week, Jim. It's going to be so much fun. So my pleasure once again. I'll see everyone next week. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone, and yeah, looking forward to listening back to these race interviews, because that was intense, and some of these guys are going to want to really get those emotions out. So thanks heaps, everyone.
Thanks very much. That's Hamish Monroe's chatted with us, along with us here tonight from Nashville in race 2 of the championship. We'll be back next week, as we all will, for Charlotte, which is race 3 of the season. But it's Bailey Brannan's day here from Nashville. 11th at Daytona, but first here in Nashville. One of the few drivers really to have 2 solid results, you would say. He wins by half a second in front of Cody Pruitt, who certainly is one of those drivers who has gone well in both weeks. First last week, second this week. Robert Stevens Jr. rounds off the top 3 with Logan Neuicker and Caleb Ross rounding out the top 5. Devon Trusty is next to Trey Jones, John Roberts, Charles Rinker and Chris Hone rounding out the top 10. Hone, by the way, another one of those relatively few drivers who's taken the top 10 in both races so far. Taylor Strong got to 11th, then of Logan Gill, who only recovered 12th on that last restart. B Strong up to 13th with a good run through the field. Chris Mackey only 14th after that unfortunate late crash for him. Mike Rinker finishes 15th ahead of Tyler Murgy, with Trey Grabber in 17th. Quinton Morris, Shane Johnson and Jack Anderson ends up picking himself out the barrage, finishing 20th place. In the end, Tyler Miller was 21st ahead of Ryan Simmons and Sean Schultz, who rounded off those on the lead lap. Paul Harris and Levi Murdoch were 1 lap down. Jackson Mathers and Cody Nelson 2 down. William Hooker 3 down, with Bill Dickey and Joe Dyson rounding off the 30 drivers who started here today, with some retirements for them, unfortunately, from the Hawkers Automotive 100. Let's have a chat to Bailey Brannan, our race winner here tonight from Nashville Superspeedway. Bailey, congratulations on getting to victory lane tonight and the win, of course. Tell us how the final restart was. You were on slightly older tyres than almost everybody behind you, and you managed to pull it off in the end, win by half a second. How are you feeling at the end of that one?
Oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words right now, because I thought not pitting earlier in the race was going to ruin my race, but I was able to save fuel. I actually was not good to go on fuel earlier in the race, and I was able to save fuel throughout those cautions, and I knew if I had a good jump on that final restart, I was good to go. It was smooth sailing from there, and I've been working hard all week. I mean, I probably have turned 1,000 laps on Nashville this week just for this race, and I just knew that if I got ahead of the 8, I was just going to hit my points, and I was smooth sailing from there on out.
That's exactly what you did. Just hit your marks towards the end of the race. But in terms of strategy, it was so complicated to work out which one was the best here tonight. With the benefit of hindsight, what would you say would have been the best way to go, if you like, from tonight? And would you have changed anything maybe about your approach if you did it again?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I had it. I was originally going to, but because I tried out a strategy yesterday in our practice race, and it did not fare well for me. But I'm glad I adjusted it, and I was able to get 9 stage points in the stage, and I was able to secure it with the win. I mean, that just feels amazing.
Big points day, certainly, after finishing just off the top 10 at Daytona 1 week ago. Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, Bailey, but most importantly, congratulations on the win tonight at Nashville.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. That is Bailey Brannan, who gets into victory lane here tonight, ahead of Cody Pruitt, who is in second, and we can have a chat to as well. Cody, congratulations on another top 2. First last week, second this week. You must be, putting aside maybe disappointments about not winning this race, you must be pleased with your start to the season.
Yeah, I was hoping to win today too. I won our practice, and I was really coming in here looking to win, but things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that final restart like for you? You had slightly younger tyres than Brannan out front, and didn't quite seem to be enough in the end, losing out by half a second. What was the difference on that last restart, would you say?
He just got a good run off of 1 and 2. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't have it. I had to get by the 8 car and just couldn't get him.
Well, it was close in the end, but yeah, as you say, unfortunately, not quite enough. But a good start to the season, nevertheless. Cody, thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, and congrats on second place tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Cody Pruitt, second place here from Nashville. Robert Stevens Jr. finished in third, and we can chat to him now as well. Robert, congratulations on a top 3 finish here tonight from Nashville. What was that late restart like, as you were in the outside conversation, certainly there for a race win late on?
I don't really know. I wasn't too sure how it was going to go, because I knew Bailey was kind of still on old tires and mine were fairly new, but I just didn't have the speed that those guys up front had to get by them.
And what about the caution in between times? That we just watched a replay of you skipping past some guys who went off the road on the back straight to bring out, I think it was the last caution of the day anyway. What was that final half of the race like that was pretty caution heavy in the end?
I mean, I don't really know. It was I got lucky with that caution, because that big caution happened right in front of me, and I was lucky enough to stay in and zoom right by them, and then I just stayed out of trouble for all the other ones. It put me in a good position to be up front.
Oh, absolutely. Congratulations on finishing in the top 3 here tonight, and thanks for coming to have a chat with us at the end as well.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's Robert in third. We'll also bring Trey Grabber in for this for a little chat at the end of the day as well. Trey, welcome in. Good to have you with us. And a 17th place finish for you here today, mid-pack finish, and that's roughly where you started the race as well. How was your evening out there in Nashville?
It was fun. So I pitted, I think, like lap 12 or whatever to get some fuel, kind of shake up the strategy a little bit. And then I was like, okay, if this works the way I want it to, I'm gonna be able to, gain some points, get some stage points. But it didn't. It went green, which was a shock to me. But I mean, then we had carnage at the end, so my paint scheme actually kind of worked for today. Thought I was gonna kind of make it up there in the top 5, honestly, at the end, until Chris Mackey come back up the track and kind of put me into the wall, and I had to pit for repairs. But it was a good race. I think we kept it clean for most of it until the very end, but that's normal racing. At the end, when points are on the line, you wanna get every inch you can. And we just kind of had some issues there at the end, but hey, it was a good race all around. I'm proud of Bailey and all the guys that finished in the top 5. Great, fantastic race for all of them. So it It was very fun to watch from my point of view. I'll just say that.
So Trey, sorry. This is Jim. Yeah, I just want to say that I think we saw some improved racecraft tonight. I think the track also helped with that. This was a great pick. This track is one of those tracks that you can race all over the place once the tires come in a little bit. And I think we definitely saw an improvement through the first 3 quarters of the race. Obviously towards the end, people are going to be dicing for every position they can get, and that's understandable. But yeah, I thought overall it was a good showing for the league and a good showing for the guys. Much better respect and racecraft out there tonight. And so yeah, I just that's the main reason I wanted to pull you in and just tell you so that you could pass that on to the guys from my personal opinion.
Yeah, we ran a practice race last night and had, I think, 1 natural caution. So we knew coming in tonight that it was possible. We just had to kind of keep our heads down and keep trucking along. And as the season gets on, like I said last week, we're gonna get better with each other. We're gonna kind of get more comfortable around each other and be able to head on. So I'm excited for Charlotte next week. It's gonna be a fun race. It's gonna be a long race, but it's gonna be a fun race. So I'm excited to have you guys on board for that as well. And thanks for all the sponsors who have put this thing together, especially Hawkers Automotive. He was one of the first guys to reach out to us and say, hey, I want to sponsor. What can I do? So I want to give a shout out to Hawkers Automotive. I know the dad is sitting at home watching this. So thanks for coming on board. Pleasure to have you, along with all of our other sponsors as well. So we're excited to get to Charlotte next week for the Skylark 225.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming to have a chat with us, Trey. And as I say, we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.
Thanks very much, Trey Grabber. At the end of tonight's Hawkers Automotive 100 here from Nashville. Well, Jim, it was a good round of the championship. As you say, improved racecraft all round for second week in the series, and surely it's only going to continue on as well. But it's those late runs towards the end, the final 30 laps. I'm not sure how much green running we got in those final 30 laps, but it wasn't too much in the end. It does seem that's the important key to these races, really. With about 30 or so to go, get up towards the front and stay there, because with so many cautions, it almost seems as like a sort of a freeze on the leaderboard after that point, and it's very difficult to get yourself through the field. As we saw, track position won out in the end, and certainly helped Bailey Brannan take home the victory here today with that track position on that final restart.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that right now, the way this league is going, these guys are fighting really hard towards the end of the race, possibly some of them a little too hard. And so that's going to be the strategy for a while. But we definitely saw some improved racing early on for the first 3 quarters of the race or so. And I think as that improves going into the later stages of these races, I think that may clean itself up just a little bit, but to somewhat that's to be expected, because these guys are all scrambling trying to make something happen. And but yeah, I think it'll improve. But overall, it was a good race, very exciting. Nashville's a fun track just because they can really race here. They don't have to follow each other around.
Absolutely, and that's what you get from Nashville. Hopefully we'll get something similar from Charlotte next week at the end of July. We'll be live same time, same place in the next round of our championship for our longest night. That will be from Charlotte. 150 laps coming from there, so set yourselves in. Make sure you join us for that one. Should be a good round of the championship. For now, though, from myself, Ian O'Leary, Jim Cunningham, and Hamish Monroe, who joined us for this race as well, it's goodbye from Nashville. We'll see you once again in a week's time for round 3 from Charlotte. Goodbye for now.